The Great Sphinx is one of the most famous historical monuments in the Arab Republic of Egypt and in the Egyptian city of Giza in particular. This is due to its unique appearance and its distinctive location near the pyramids of Giza, which is one of the most important symbols of the ancient Egyptian civilization along with this historical statue. Egypt ruled at that time. History of the construction of the Great Sphinx. What is the relationship between the Great Sphinx and the statue of Oedipus? Some date the ownership of this statue to King Khafre, one of the ancient Egyptian kings. King Khafre lived in the period from 2575 BC to 2465 BC, which indicates that this Egyptian statue is one of the oldest statues that were carved, and it is believed that the construction of this statue was brought by the elder brother Jadfri to commemorate his father Khufu, for whom the largest of the Egyptian pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, was built. This emerged in the era of the Egyptian 18th dynasty. In addition to the period of the end of the 15th century BC and the beginning of the 14th century BC, when a stele was placed between the feet of the statue in order to perform some special Egyptian religious rituals. There are also some different historical opinions related to the construction of the Great Sphinx and who resembles this statue in its construction. There are some hypotheses that claim that this statue resembles King Khufu, and there are those who say that it resembles King Khafre, and there are those who claim that the statue was built in its foundation before King Khufu himself. The Sphinx is similar in name to one of the ancient Greek statues, the statue of Oedipus, where both statues are a symbol of ancient monsters bearing specific characteristics and connotations for each of those who built them. As for the location of the Sphinx, it is on the plateau of the Egyptian city of Giza. How to build the Sphinx? How long did it take to carve the Sphinx? The way in which the Sphinx was formed indicates the grandeur of the architecture of the ancient Egyptians, as this statue was completely carved from a huge limestone rock that was in the area, and the enormity of this statue caused it to take 3 years to complete its carving, as the length of the Sphinx is 73 meters, and its height is 20 meters. So this statue was required to be sculpted by 100 workers throughout the period of its formation, and the method of carving was using ancient stone hammers and chisels made of copper. The statue was painted through a group of ancient pigments, as these drawings represented the primitive geometric structure of the sculpting process. The goal of building the Great Sphinx. Why did the Egyptians build the Great Sphinx? The Sphinx statue was built facing the sunrise, as it was completely carved from limestone for a mysterious creature that contains common characteristics between a lion and a human. The human head symbolizes wisdom. Everyone who visited the site of this statue was astonished by the symbolism referred to by the Sphinx, as if the statue stood near the 3 pyramids of Khufu, Khafre and Menkaure to protect them, as this great statue accompanied the pyramids for thousands of years, and the ancient Egyptians aimed to build this statue to serve as a guard for ancient Egyptian tombs, pyramids and temples to keep you safe from thieves. Causes of deformation of the Sphinx. What is the reason for cutting off the nose of the Sphinx? Geological and climatic factors greatly affect the historical monuments, and this effect is greater the longer the chronological age of the historical landmark, as the influence of geological and climatic factors increases with the passage of time, especially that the age of the construction of the Sphinx is estimated at about 4,500 years. The factors of erosion and erosion have contributed to the exposure of the Sphinx to a certain amount of erosion in some aspects of the statue's body from the lower region in particular, and the distortion of this great Egyptian statue was not limited to subjection to some weather, climatic and natural conditions, but was affected by human intervention that led to a distortion in the head area. From this statue, specifically in the nose area, where the statue's nose was cut to become deformed. There are several accounts that indicate the reasons for cutting the nose off this statue, including that Napoleon's army took the Sphinx as a target for training and fired one of the cannons towards the nose. By deforming the nose area, considering that the statue is an idol that should not remain with clear features so as not to be worshipped, and the competent authorities are making unremitting efforts to preserve the historical heritage of the ancient Egyptian civilization, including this historical statue, which indicates the greatness of Egyptian architecture.